Hey everybody, welcome to Questions, Comments, and Concerns for Episode 5 of Threshold Relics of the Homeland. Hey everybody.
Hey.
Questions, comments, concerns. Let's talk about the session.
It's good to get some combat.
Yes. Yeah, I couldn't not have combat in this episode. I don't know. Felt necessary.
Get the hang of paladins a little bit.
Paladinhood.
They're awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love paladins.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll get to play my paladin someday.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
we'll get
Yeah.
there. I had some flashbacks when we were fighting spiders. Pamela sort of made this joke a little bit, but when Casey used to DM for us,
Yeah.
when in describing like how weakened a spider would be, he would say how many legs it had left.
Oh, okay.
You could-
then it just became any enemy. It was, if it was a spider,
Right.
how many legs would it have?
So you just figure out like
Oh,
how many eights remaining it has
Yeah.
at this point.
Okay,
So-
so there was an in-joke there.
Yeah, sorry.
I was gonna bring it up during afterwards
Oh,
anyway
my
because
goodness.
I just always think back when everyone fights spiders. It's like, so how many legs does it have left? If it was and if this dragon was a spider, how many legs would it have remaining?
Oh, wow.
It was too perfect of an opportunity. And I as I was asking the question, I remembered that joke. So I was legitimately asking, well, how many legs? Like, how many legs did I chop off? And then it was like, oh yeah, there's this stupid joke that Casey made once. And now it's a thing. So,
That takes me back.
yeah.
I like I love seeing the portal stuff. Like
Yeah.
going through the portals.
There's gonna be more of
The
that.
idea that like sometimes you can it's like a network through, but then other times you'll just end up in like a spooky passage or middle of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I really love that.
Can you see through the portals when they're open?
I think they're sort of opaque. Like, you might be able to see, like, little glimpses of what's on the other side, but it's kind of hard to tell.
Yeah. So it's like you
Like, it's
don't
fairly
really know what
obscure.
you're going into.
Yeah, it sounds like that. There was some mention a couple episodes back about like when we were on the other side of the portal running away from the storm,
Yeah.
that we could sort of see it coming.
Yeah, and I think it sort of solidifies when things pass through it temporarily, and then sort of turns into more of a malleable membrane again.
I guess you're looking through like the thinnest slice of the ethereal plane.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That's kind of what I was thinking. And then, yeah, like pushing through it kind of pops a hole in it temporarily before the
Yeah.
membrane can reform.
I realized that I made a mistake, because this is me giving these to clerics. I accidentally made 2 bonus actions.
Oh. Oh, right, because you enchanted your sword. No!
That's okay.
Those
I cheated
spiders
too.
were supposed to kill all of you.
I-
That
I-
changed the...
I cheated too this game. I
Well,
don't have.
okay, mine was on
Too.
accident, though.
Mine was on purpose.
What did you do?
I don't have prestidigitation on my cantrip
Oh.
list, but I wanted to fix the map.
Oh.
So
I'm going to-
I'll swap it for
I'm going
for green flame blade because I'm never gonna use that.
Yeah, you're
spell.
probably not going to use that.
So I'll rectify that. But I just thought that moment was
That was
That was
really
good.
nice. Yeah, I like that.
too good.
There were a couple of like good barracks people building skills moments in this game, and there's one that
Yeah.
really wasn't.
What was that one? Oh, me arguing with what's his name?
Yeah.
Oh well, yeah. Well, no, that's part of. I mean, a little bit of a window. That's part of like the. That's part of the motivation for like complimenting tasks is so Ferrex is taken away basically from everything he knows. He's taken away from everything he knows, and he sort of like loses his whole family. Obviously, he doesn't have any, and so like seeing Vox's family heirloom map getting destroyed, and just sort of. He really, really, really hates Toss's father,
Aurelius.
Aurelius. Really hates Aurelius. Now that he sort of sees that, oh, you have a son that you're going to have for such a short amount of time, and you're totally neglecting having this relationship with them. And so that's sort of like, so Ferrex now is like, oh, okay, Tass isn't everyone talks to Tass like he's the one responsible for his half-elvenness, but it's like that's not the case at all. His father Aurelius said something like, you can't let your heritage. I hope you're not like your heritage is, and it's like, well, you're the one who made the mistake. Like, or maybe not a mistake, but you're the one who.
It's kind of a tough thing because
Well,
like
I mean, it kind of was like
it was his.
Luna, like,
it was
really
his.
called me.
Yeah.
Aurelius' mistake.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Petroluna.
Yeah. So I mean,
Yeah.
Ferrex is starting to
I
see
like
it that
him a
way.
lot.
I hate him.
well, I mean,
He's up to some shit.
yeah, he's super
he's
schemy, but I
shady.
love his attitude. I love just like, oh, well, isn't that nice? Like, let's do
I like him.
He reminds me of
He's
Lucius
slimy.
Malfoy.
He's a little Malfoy-like. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Well,
Yeah. He's just like, I don't know. If little peel back, like he's fairly young, but he was basically like he's a Shadow Protocol kid.
yeah.
That was basically raised to be the head of this church, and then the church has recently been re-empowered
Yeah. So
after like several generations of shadows that are like have been teaching him all of this stuff, and he's basically been aristocratic ever since then. But
now he has.
but
real
now
power.
he's actually got some real power going on, and it's like,
I wonder if he has spells though.
yeah,
Well, that makes an interesting dynamic between the Church of Lunam and the Church of Victoria. The Church of Lunam, because like they've been reinitiated, it's like they're young again, right?
Yeah.
So you have like this really young guy heading the church versus Victoria, which has just been around for so long, and the Matre Victoria is so much older. So it's like when like like how does that come into play in that balancing between the two?
yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of parallels to be drawn there.
Because one is learned knowledge and one is experienced knowledge.
It's true. Yeah, that's a good point. Also, the Church of Victoria is just much more hands-on.
Yeah.
Like, Matre Victoria probably knows how to forge things and stuff, whereas, like, good luck trying to get Patri Lunam to...
Yeah.
I just remembered how short of time it's been. It's literally been like not even 2 years
Yeah.
since Lunam has come back.
yeah, like this... Yeah.
It's like brand new.
Like, the society's kind of buckling under this change in the power dynamic right now.
Oh god.
Especially, like, if you notice, there's a lot of Moon Knights running around.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of them.
Fresh recruits.
Yeah.
And they would even the ones that were like your father, I'm sure, would have just been basically a warrior.
Yeah.
And now suddenly he can
Yeah.
smite things like.
Exactly. Yeah, and, like, even, like... Yeah, like, he's getting used to the idea of being able to do that. Like, it's...
Yeah, it could be worrisome. They could get really power hungry really
Yeah.
quickly.
Mhm.
And that's
And
really
you're
dangerous.
assuming
I think
they
that's
have
a-
already.
I think that's a lot of the concern. That's like a wide concern in Elven society with people who aren't even affiliated with the churches right now and stuff too. I think.
Well, it's like, how do you take someone like, maybe they were like a really high-ranking warrior, and then all of a sudden they have all this power,
Yeah.
and they haven't grown used to like the steady increase of power and
Imagine
how
if the CIA could suddenly do magic.
like.
It's not a bad way to put it.
But it's not like they grew with the power. It was just like, okay, now you have all of this all at
Yeah.
once. Like, it's like, how do you handle
Yeah,
it?
and it's weird because there's like all the traditions and stuff survived, but now there's
No one
yeah,
follows them.
Yeah, and I mean like the Church of Lunam has still existed, and like there's still Moonberry festivals and all of this stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
But it became sort of like it had almost become, I think, kind of like Christmas, like as far as like American Christmas
Right.
works.
Yeah.
Like that kind of thing, where like it's like
only the
yeah, like a lot of the merchants.
faintest echo.
Yeah,
of
and the
religious
merchants freaking
affiliation.
love the Moonberry Festival now. You know, like, and now all of a sudden that stuff has a lot more meaning, and
Well,
and people are digging back into these old traditions and being like, is there stuff we should still be doing, or how does this work? What's
For-
our relationship with this
for
god?
Toss specifically, the coming this power returning and coming for him. Lunam is sort of the only person who, or not person, but only thing
Yeah.
that Toss can rely on, and has had at least since this has happened. I imagine he was in the Church of Lunam before.
He was probably at least. I mean, let's face it, he was probably raised by whatever
Yeah,
order there was before
right.
she came back anyway.
But
So.
with her coming back, it's very, and especially considering that at least we don't know where my mother is
Mhm.
or anything. She's my mom in a weird way. Like she's
That's a
like
cool
that,
way to put it.
that figure.
Yeah.
And
Ooh, that's fun. This is gonna be fun, guys.
yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah.
And you, Ferrex, said good job.
I did.
And he,
Good job.
the Grinch, carved the roast beast.
Your heart grew 3 sizes this session.
It did. It did. Well, that's the arc.
Really, really quick, just because I know people have been asking, could I get you guys to talk about your character builds a little bit, just like what
Yeah.
subclasses you picked
Oh.
and stuff? Because I know people were curious, And I just wanted to throw that in a video really quick. Here.
I'll start. So I'm a blade singer. It's from the Sword Coast Adventures Guide, which I've sort of been kind of going through, and this is sort of my play test of some of the rules. I honestly haven't had to use the blade singer too much. I was kind of my original concept was a wizard that would be able to like use a sword as deftly as like to basically be able to come close to sparring with like a fighter character, but we haven't seen. I haven't really had the chance to do that yet. So yeah, he's a wizard. He's obviously he's Onis Terra. Yeah. He's a Onis Terra elf, which
everybody
is
but everybody but Vox is Onis Terra,
Yeah.
right? So which is our high elf equivalent, pretty much.
And yeah, other than that, I have the blade trance, which is pretty cool. But other than that, I'm a pretty standard wizard. But I have a pretty decent strength score. I tanked my charisma, my wisdom charisma.
Well, I couldn't tell.
So I'm trying to roleplay that appropriately.
Sweet. Pat, what are you rocking?
I'm a paladin with an oath of devotion.
Cool.
Great weapon fighting style. And I don't know what else.
All right. Yeah. You didn't take any feats, right, Steven? Because like you guys are past level 4, so you could have forgone an ability increase to take a.
Yeah, I took an ability increase. In,
okay.
I'm not sure. I think in
it's not
Constitution.
not super important. Just feats are like defining enough that if you have one, throw it out there.
I think I don't think I did.
Okay. Right on. I think most people took ability increases just because it's nice to get that extra +1 on your primary stat or whatever.
Yeah. Plus, I was like terrified playing this class because I don't know anything about it. So I was just like, I'm not gonna make it any more complicated.
That's all good. What are you doing, Pamela?
Okay, so I'm rocking War Domain on my cleric. I didn't take any feats. Yeah, so I'm doing War Priest. I thought about there's something in the Sword Coast Adventures that I was playing around.
The arcane one, right?
Yeah, but it just works better.
I have mixed emotions on the idea of an arcane cleric.
Yeah, like
their spell list is complete enough. They don't need to get into the wizard spell list.
Right. Well, I just think that it would work for Victoria because she's the balance of craftsmanship and magic.
That's very true.
But I think that being my first time playing any kind of spellcaster in 5, I wanted to take the kind of easier route and go with war, just so it's like spells I know, like spells that have names that I'm familiar with, like aid and lesser restoration.
Yeah, and that's fine. Also, the background you built for your character is kind of a veteran now and more of a fight. It works pretty well.
She was at the War of Moray.
What are you up to, Zach?
Playing a druid who's the of the Circle of the Land, and I've kind of picked the spells I want from the circle I'm from because they don't necessarily have a Circle of the Jungle.
Yeah, we kind of cobbled one together for you.
So that's pretty much what I've been working with.
Yeah,
I have a pretty high wisdom, and I mean, other than that, my lowest stat is a 9. Is my strength. I'm not physically strong.
Oh, rolled pretty well, huh?
Yeah.
Nice.
Garrett
and
is
then there's the reskin.
a badass.
Yes. Dun dun dun.
Garrett's a super tank, man. He's a ranger, hunter, colossus slayer, but I didn't really build him to do a lot of damage. I built him to be this big, tanky, heavy set husky guy.
Right? Did you put a lot of constitution? And stuff,
as much as I could.
Yeah.
And with half plate and a shield, he is unstoppable.
That's right. I gave you a shield. Crap.
I know what you do. I already had pretty good hit points.
Yeah. What am I doing?
Now he's just like a blade of armor for the whole rest of the team. Throw shit at me. Bring it on.
Well, since you asked.
Yeah.
Eric stands behind Garrett.
But that was my goal for Garrett. Mostly, I just wanted to play a tank, and it feels a little different not being able to like dish it out necessarily. But I got like a lucky hit this time. But
yeah. The adjusting is so freaking unsettling.
I think I might have cheated though. I got a correct me if I'm wrong, but I've
Everybody's
got
cheating
you.
in my
That's
campaign.
that's this episode is we cheated.
Well, okay, well, someone did it on purpose and someone did it on accident.
So I don't get a bonus action for casting, do I? So I get a cast and hit it next turn.
If the spell is a bonus action, then you do. We'll have to look at that
I'll have to
later.
look it up. It's Ensnaring Strike is his Jad power.
I imagine
That sounds like most of the
Strike.
strike style spells are bonus actions that
you
apply to your
probably did
attack.
it correct.
Wait,
Okay,
well,
maybe
that
it's-
might be just like an unhit thing.
Might also, yeah.
It is a bonus action.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think like it
Yeah,
works
great.
kind of like a paladin
So I
smite
did not
spells
cheat.
or brand
The
spells and
Jad
stuff like
continues.
Yeah, it's like the branding.
Helen made a mistake. You did it right. I cheated.
Yes.
that. All right, you.
There we go.
Okay, we've already run a little bit longer because I asked everybody to do that, but
Okay.
thank you guys. Thank you for watching. Check us out. Subscribe. Check out the Patreon, Twitter, all of that stuff. I'll see you tomorrow for Afterwards, and we'll be back next week with episode 6 of Relics of the Homeland. Thanks for watching.